Hi, it's Michelle Turner from Movement Lesson, and I'm going to talk to you a bit about shoulder function and showing up signs in developmental delays and aging. So first of all, what I would like you to do is, I don't care if you're sitting there at the computer or whatever, just lift and remove your right shoulder. So now do it again. Now notice, are you moving the whole arm to move the shoulder? Are you trying to raise the arm to move the shoulder? Or does it look more like that you can just, in any position, just talk and do whatever and move your shoulder? This is more what it should look like, that you're able to separate anything. I can have my arms down, I should be in lying down position, whatever I want, and move just my right shoulder. But a lot of people tend to do this or this because they don't have a clear definition of what their shoulder is. Now that being said is what I want to talk about. When people aren't well organized in a sense, and this is something nobody even looks at unless you start doing this kind of work, but for most people the shoulder is before the elbow. So what that means is that when I go to do something, let's say, the shoulder will want to come first. What should be able to happen is the shoulder should be able to go before the elbow and then after. There should be just a nice, easy, as you transfer from one directive to another. So whether I want to throw a punch and that kind of thing where the elbow transfers, or if I'm going to throw something, when I throw, my shoulder will want to come back, among other things. So there should be a nice little conversation going on. Now that being said, I want to talk about developmental delays. So particularly, let's say in a form of, like, say, rigidity, like cerebral palsy or that kind of thing, you really might see this kind of situation where the shoulder almost becomes fixed. So what happens is, and people don't realize, when my shoulder's like this, especially if it's more in a fixed position, I know that's not words that Feldies like to use. However, when you're talking mainstream, I've got to cover both bases, so just bear with me. When the shoulder's in this more position, how am I supposed to first of all get my hand over my head? It's not possible. So now I've got to organize my system if I want to do something like this, or I don't do it. Now when I'm doing something like this, if I'm concentrating so much on my arm, now it's very hard because my balance is off for my eyes actually to go with my hand to watch what I'm doing. So that's a completely different move versus if I were free and could just follow my hand, look up, reach for an apple or something, put up holiday decorations, versus this kind of situation. Again, throwing the ball, if my shoulder's like this, how am I? So that's where you get that kind of situation versus where someone, and again, look at my balance, that I can go back like that and throw something. So the shoulder really affects all of that. Writing. If I can't do a circle here, I can't do a circle here. It's all connected, you know. So to sit there and work on penmanship or writing, this, that, and the other, it's got to be everywhere. Your toes should be able to do a circle. My tush, my elbows. So that's all connected. So again, if there's conversations that are not going on here, then it's not going on in here. And it's not going on in here because your brain's telling the shoulder to the elbow to, you know, so it's all a movement and it's life patternings. So again, my balance, when I'm like this, the organization of my spine, it's going to affect the way my foot shuffles, because again, I can't take a nice long gait if my shoulder is doing something like this. So there are a lot of things to be considered on how one quote affects the other, and to work on the movement in one area or in your entire system really affects the whole thing, that you can start doing something like this, this, this. I'm holding a ball. I'm holding them. Just look at the differences. So that's more on developmental delays. When you're someone of age or traumas happen, stroke, Again, issues with balance, a good fall. I call this more of a wounded bird when you start, when it looks like someone's permanently got a purse on the elbow hanging off here. There's been issues, but again, once that starts to happen, again, look at the shoulder. The shoulder wants to come forward. And this could be osteoporosis. There are a lot of different situations where the shoulder wants to come forward. And again, once that starts to happen, to get dressed, in and out of the car, just look at the changes that can start to happen just based off that shoulder. By the way, if you have a loved one that, I call it that they look like they have their hands being just permanently, like they just got their nails done, they've really have fallen or have severe issues with the fear of falling. You need to find out a way to address that, to set up their home, to get them in a situation where they're not going to hurt themselves. People don't realize that, yes, I don't want to have a stroke, and yes, I don't want to have a neurological disorder, but a fall can really change someone's life completely, to make them from completely independent to max assist in 3 seconds. So falling is really something that it's going to happen. I understand that, but does it have to happen needlessly? So that's something to take into consideration. So today is just looking at what your elbow's doing in relationship to yourself. And notice again, I have a free shoulder girdle. The shoulder is not attached to the rib cage. And a lot of people get very like this, very, you know, again, just because the shoulder's not here, you know, can you just do this and just check it out? And if, you know, this is the backstroke, this is swimming, this is breaststroke. These are all things that our system should be able to do at just a moment's notice. I haven't gone swimming in a couple of months, but I'm available to do it. So are you. And this is how we also start, and our brains know this. You're not available for swimming, that's when you start going, nah, I'm not, I don't look good in the bathing suit, I don't want to, because you're losing the joy of it. So move, find some joy, get out of pain, do what you need to do, and look at your shoulders.